Have you ever wondered where water goes when it rains? We took a look into how stormwater runoff affects the water quality of Kentucky, where the stormwater goes, and how we can lessen any detrimental impacts it may have.
So what exactly is stormwater? Stormwater is any excess rain or melting snow that is not absorbed by the ground and ends up in our drainage systems. Stormwater can carry litter, animal waste, excess fertilizer, and any other sources of pollution into our waterways.
We were able to sit down with Carmen Agaritas and talk to her about stormwater and its impacts, and also where it goes. Alan Fryer was also very pivotal in helping us understand the different types of pollutants that can be carried by the stormwater.
So my name is Carmen Agaritas. I'm an associate professor in the Biosystems and Agricultural Engineering Department, and my area of focus is ecosystem restoration. So I look at how do you rebuild streams, and part of my job is also stormwater management.
Great. So can you tell us where the water on campus goes when it rains?
Okay, so when it rains, it depends on where it rains at. So if it falls onto a building, there are usually gutters that you don't see like on your home, but there are ones that are internal that will send the water down to the ground where it connects up to storm pipes. The storm pipes do a very good job. It's kind of like a river network underground that send all of it out towards a stream. If you're on the roads, you will see little openings along the side of the roads or the curbs that funnel all the water off. So the idea is really to get the stormwater off as fast as possible.
I'm Alan Fryer. I'm associate professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences, and my specialization is water resources.
And can you tell us a little bit about how the waste from campus in the stormwater impacts the water quality?
Yeah, I've had students from a couple of different classes look at one particular point on campus where water comes into a rain garden behind the Gluck Equine Center. And depending upon time of year and how much rain falls or how much snow has melted in the wintertime and how intense the rainfall is, there can be non-point source pollutants carried in, like road salt. We actually see spikes in concentrations of sodium and chloride and measurements of electrical conductivity, which reflect road salt being carried along in runoff. We know that, for example, around the south part of campus, close to the Gluck Center, there are geese, and so there are bacteria in goose guano that are probably getting into the runoff as well. And those same sorts of pollutants occur on other parts of campus. I mean, a lot of UK's campus, of course, like any urban area, has a lot of what's called impervious cover.
So here on UK's campus, we are surrounded by a lot of construction. So what is the issue with this? Unlike sewage water, stormwater isn't actually treated, and it can carry sediment from campus and from the construction into our drainage systems.
Another pollutant I guess I should have mentioned, but I didn't, and I think UK is taking steps toward that as well, is just sediment itself. Chemicals can adsorb onto sediment, but sediment just in and of itself can be a pollutant because if it's being carried through the storm sewers, number one, again, it can plug up the storm sewers, but even if it gets transported all the way out to the streams, sediment then affects turbidity, which affects light availability in streams, and so that's a problem. What made me think of it is all the construction that's going on around campus, and so you'll see barricades that are intended to keep sediment from washing into storm drains, and so it's that type of thing that I think constitutes a best management practice also. Lead to.
So is litter an issue on campus?
Yeah, litter is an issue. I don't know to what extent litter specifically impacts water quality. Of course, it depends on what type of litter you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that's probably more of a nuisance, although I suppose it's possible that if you had a lot of litter accumulating, that it could actually physically plug up the storm drains, and then the storm drains just wouldn't function as well.
There are several ways to mitigate the impacts of stormwater, such as not littering, picking up animal waste, and not using as much fertilizer on the ground. Behind the Barnhart building on the University of Kentucky's campus, there's a rain garden, and rain gardens are great because they help reduce the amount of runoff during a storm.
To do your part to keep Kentucky's waterways free of pollution that can harm habitats, you should pick up any trash you see on the sidewalk, be sure not to use much fertilizer, check your cars for any oil leaks, and be aware of what you are dumping onto the ground.
It's important that we do our best to mitigate the impacts of stormwater so that we can keep our Kentucky water clean.